The Riu Funana in Cape Verde. The perfect 5-star hotel if you've never actually been to a 5-star hotel. More like 5 flickering bulbs in a dodgy caravan park. Now, I admit my last statement was a bit harsh, but I can only blame my negative mood on the level of noise and hunger. Let's just say, if you've ever experienced a real 5-star resort, prepare for a serious downgrade. First of all, the clientele. Forget the Brits. This place seems to have been invaded by West Germany. Now, I've got nothing against them, but they all seem to be fluent in the Queen's English, which frankly just makes my own linguistic shortcomings feel even more glaring. Guess I'll just have to rely on the copious amount of the resort's self-service pumps to muster up the courage to speak to my own wife. At least there was a few bars scattered around, including those self-service ones, so I can get myself suitably lubricated. Now, before we continue, I'm actually in the process of editing this video, and I might be a bit harsh throughout, but just keep in mind that my review is comparing it to the price we paid, and I'll get to that price later on in this video, and my reviews will always be based on the price of this what you get. The resort's map, don't be fooled. It's like one of those estate agent brochures, where they make the gardens look like the size of Hyde Park. Half of it's not even this resort. So if you've got an aversion to being splashed by ankle biters, book next door in the adults only resort. Though judging by the depths of the pools, I'm not sure anyone over the age of 5 could actually swim in them. They are about the depth of a paddling pool. And I swear the guests seem to spend all day perched up on the edges of the bars, probably contributing to the unique pool chemistry. I'm not saying they never leave the pool, but I've yet seen them to make a pilgrimage to the porcelain throne. You can draw your own conclusions. Technically, they claim there are 3 pools, but one's divided by about 10 metres. So yeah, they can call it 2. And the third is a kids' pool. I won't show you much of that, however, as a guy can get a name for himself for filming around these areas. The dining experience. Think hospital food, but with less flavour. They've clearly outsourced their recipes to some dodgy online translation service. Waiting for your turn or queuing? A foreign concept here. It's a free-for-all. Everyone's pushing and shoving like they haven't seen food in weeks. The limited selection can only be described as culinary purgatory. And don't even get me started on the speciality restaurants. Let's just say I ended up back at the main buffet shoveling down more blandness. Sorry, can I quickly jump in there? It's been a few days and I actually reluctantly went to one of the other speciality restaurants. And the veal was absolutely banging. Starters was, well, a bit iffy. But yeah, the main course and the dessert, perfect. It's just a shame we can't eat there every day. The lobby's a bit of a trek. Looks swanky enough when you arrive. Lots of places to sit. But trying to find a seat in the evening, it's like a scene from Planet Earth, with everybody eyeing up each other's unattended spots like vultures circling a carcass. The architecture. Sandcastle chic meets Squid Game. Cream and brown blocks with oddly shaped windows. It's certainly memorable. And the beach, well, it's there alright. A 15-minute trek through a gauntlet of timeshare salesmen and excursion tours. I'd love to show you it, but the last time I ventured up down there, I ended up on the tour from hell. You can watch that video after this one on my page. I hear there's a beach bar though, and red flags. Lots and lots of red flags. Swimming is not advisable. We already know of this guy who broke his leg because a wave crashed into it. The rooms are, well, they're rooms. Ours is an upgraded room apparently. God help the poor souls in the standard ones. Excuse the mess though, we're on holiday. But even upgraded, it's not exactly palatial. As for the entertainment team, they're certainly enthusiastic. Very, very enthusiastic. Think less West End and more wild animal mating call. We've opted for the quieter corners of the resort in the evening. My sanity is worth more than a questionable karaoke rendition of Sweet Caroline, as we've been actively avoiding it. So, the Riu Funana. 5 stars? Well, I've had better holidays and I've certainly had better food. And the price, don't even get me started on the price. £3,258 for 11 nights. We paid a fortune, basically £150 per person per day. Just to sunbathe on a glorified sandpit, eat tasteless grub, and listen to the mating rituals of the over-enthusiastic entertainers. But it shows you can get sun and heat in January without flying to the Caribbean, but you'll pay a hefty price for it. But hey, it is sunny, it is warm. And I suppose if you're blind and deaf, well, you'll have a great time. But let's be real, the Riu Funana isn't perfect. I've been very vocal about its shortcomings and I stand by those critiques. But if you can snag this place for say £100 per person per day, it's a different story. Think of it this way, you're not paying for a Michelin star cuisine or a tranquil spa retreat. You're paying for sunshine, a warm place to lay your head, and crucially for some, a place where kids can run wild. And yes, if you've got the little ones, and you aren't overly sensitive to a bit of noise, and let's call it unadventurous food, this place is a winner. They'll be entertained, you'll all be getting some vitamin D, and your wallet's gonna lose some weight. I know I've been harsh, But that's because when you slap a 5-star label on something and charge a premium price, expectations rise. And frankly, the Riu Funana falls short of those lofty heights. However, if you approach it with realistic expectations, especially when it comes to value for money, it can be a perfectly decent family getaway. It's not a lap of luxury, but it's not a complete disaster either. It's a holiday. And sometimes that's enough. And as it is with any holiday, it's what you make of it, isn't it? And as always, Chianti! Chianti!